All right, guys. I want to help you with the last thing here, which is the matrices and the conics. So I'm going to do the last two things. I don't think they were on the last review video. So here, number one, we're going to add the things lined up in position. So top left goes with top left. So -3 plus 2 is -1. 5 plus -7 is -2. 0 plus -4 is -4. -1 plus 9 is 8. So that is your answer there. Over here, we're going to subtract. But before that, we're going to distribute first. So I'm going to distribute the 2 here first. So this is 8, -10, -6. Then I'm going to subtract. So 10 minus 8 is 2. 3 minus -10. So 3 minus -10 is positive. So 3 plus 10 is 13. And then -4 minus -6. So -4 plus 6, -2. Oh wait, -4 plus 6 is positive 2. Next one, when you multiply, you go row to column. So with that in mind, I do 4. So let's say the first one, let's do color code. So top left. So it's going to be top left. So 4 times 3 plus -6 times -6. So that's going to be 12 plus 36, which is 48. Next one, I want the top right. So the top right is 4 times 6 plus -6 times 1. So 4 times 6 is 6, 12, 24, minus 6. Last one is going to be 18. 62, and 3 and -6. So 6 times 3 plus 2 times -6. So 18 minus 12, that'd be 6. And then bottom right, so 6 times 6 plus 2 times 1, 36 plus 2, 38. Of course, maybe you just forget, you're not sure, was it supposed to be sideways first and then up and down? You can always go to your calculator, click second matrix, edit a new matrix. So make this a 2 by 2. So the first one was 4, -6, 6, 2, 4, 4, enter, -6, 6, 2. Second matrix, I want to go to my other one, letter B. And I'll make this a 2 by 2. And then for this one, 3, 6, -6, 1, 3, 6, -6, 1. Then I go to second matrix and I just put A, and then second matrix, if you don't put a number or a symbol between it, it's going to be multiply times B, which matches my answer here. So you can always use your calculator to do it. Number 4, sideways to here. So this is a 3 by 2, and this is a 2 by 1. So since the 2's match, your new result are going to be the outsides, which is a 3 by 1. So I'm going to have a 3 by 1 over here. So I want, did I mess up? Wait a second. This is a 3 by 2. This is a 2 by 1. So this should be a 3 by 1. Which means it should look like this. Oh yeah, so I got, first one I gotta do is top, and then this is middle because there's no left or right. So 5 times -2 plus -1 times 2, -10 minus 2, -12. Now I'm going to do the middle and middle, I guess. So 0 times negative 2 plus negative 2 times 2. So 0 minus 4, negative 4. And then bottom middle. 2 times negative 2 plus 6 times 2, negative 4 plus, not 8, 12. So that will become 8, my fault. For this one, this is a 2 by 3, and this is a 2 by 2. The problem is this does not match. So because it doesn't match, it's a no solution. Also, you know it doesn't match because if I went this way and down this way, let's say top left, the problem is I have 3 numbers on the top and 2 numbers on the left. So this doesn't match. They have to match, and that's why they have to match, because otherwise they won't work.
The Park bus is here. If you are going to Highland Park, please come outside at this time. Thank you. Have a great day.
So this one, you just figure it out. If x is in the same position as 10, that must mean x equals 10. Y is in the same position as 24, so 2y equals 24, so y must equal 12. And z is in the position of negative 4, so 3 minus z equals negative 4, minus 7 divided by negative 1 on both sides, so that's positive 7. Here, let's try to solve this. 2 to the 4th power. Let's first distribute. So 8, negative 6, negative 10, 2, plus x, y, negative 5, negative 6, equals 15, negative 5, negative 15, negative 4. Well, I don't really care because I just want the top lefts for my x. So 8 plus x equals 15. X equals 7. And then I want the top right. So negative 6 plus y equals negative 5, plus 6 on both sides, y equals 1. Okay, finding the determinant. The determinant, if your normal thing is A, B, C, D, then it's going to be AD minus BC. So 5 times 6 minus 10 times 3. So 30 minus 30, which is 0. Because it's 0, it would also have no inverse. But the question said find a determinant, which means it's 0. The actual answer would be 0. No inverse would be an additional fact to it. Here, 2 times 1 minus 4 times 3. So 2 minus 12, negative 10. Okay. For the inverse of a matrix, by hand, you could do 1 over the determinant times A and D swap places, so dA, and it'll be negative B, negative C. All right? Yeah. So A and D swap places, and B and C become negative. So first we need to find a determinant. So negative 12 times 0 plus negative 2 times negative 3. So plus 6. 0 plus 6 is 6. So 1 over 6 times the determinant here, which these are swapped, negative 12 and 0, while these are negatived. So this is 2 and this is 3. I take the 1 over 6 and distribute it to everything. Simplify if possible. So negative 12 over 6 is negative 2. 2 over 6 is 1/3. 3 over 6 is 1/2. And 0 over 6 is just 0. So this is your final answer. But to make your life even easier, you could pull out the calculator. Again, let's take second matrix. Let's use option 3 here. So this is a 2 by 2 matrix, which is 0, negative 2, negative 3, negative 12. And then, since I was matrix C, I'm going to put matrix C, and I'm going to go to the negative 1 power. You want to click the negative 1 power here to make sure. So the same button you've been clicking for matrix is negative 1 power. Press enter. And you're like, oh, I'm not sure that's the answer. Even though it should be clear, like this is a third and this is a half. You always could click math frac and change that fractions. Hey, that looks like the answer I got earlier. Why is the 2 not negative? Oh, I'm sorry. I think that... Did I mess up? Oh, I messed up. This is actually minus this and minus that. So it's going to be negative 6. So this is negative 6, which means all of these are going to be flipped signs. I forgot the negative here. It's minus in the middle, not plus in the determinant. So you could do that, or you could do your calculator. Maybe it's better to do the calculator, even because even I make a mistake on it. Don't worry, you have like 2 hours to take this test, so like you'll have enough time to do everything. All right, determinant 3 times 21 minus 6 times 7. So 63 minus 6 times 7 is what, 42? 35, 42 means this is 21. That's the determinant. So 1 over 21 times, swap the places of A and D, so 21 and 3, and make B and C negative. So negative 7, negative 6. So 21 over 21 is 1. Negative 7 over 21 is negative 3 over 7. I'm sorry. Negative 1 over 3. Six over 21 is going to be negative 2 over 7. And 3 over 21 is 1 over 7. So that's your final answer. Okay. You find the missing matrix using the inverse. So what I need to do is multiply on the other side. But if I call this, let's say, matrix A, when I bring it to the other side, and let's say I call this B, it's going to be B times A to the negative 1. Actually, you put the A in front, my fault. So it's going to be A to the negative 1. Technically, it goes in the front, my fault on that. A to the negative 1 times B. And in this case, you're just going to have to pull out the calculator. You could actually do it, I guess, by hand, but let's pull out the calculator. So this one is 3, 2, negative 1, 0. We'll do that A. Still 2 by 2. 3, 2, negative 1, 0. 3, 2, negative 1, 0. And then matrix B is also a 2 by 2. And it's going to be 6, 11, negative 2, negative 1. From here, we're going to click second matrix. A, the inverse of A though, times the matrix of B. 2, 1, 4, 0. So your final answer here is 2, 1, 4, 0. So when you have this, you have to invert it. Oh, 2, 1, 0, 4, my fault. Okay. This one, to do this one, we're going to set it up. We're going to first take the coefficients and make that a matrix. So 3, 4, 2, negative 2. Now we're going to put our variables as coefficients, x, y. And that's going to equal our answers, 0, 14. So in this case, A is here. We need to move it over here because I want to find the variable matrix, which sometimes we call capital X. and this is b. So again, I need to do a negative 1 times b, which means I got to plug this in the calculator. 3, 4, 2, negative 2. Second matrix. 3, 4, 2, negative 2. And then we're going to do the other matrix for b. In this case, I'm going to call it, it's a 2 by 1. And that's 0, 14. Was it 0, 14? Yeah, 0, 14. Second, quit. And then, even I could kind of make it easier. I could just recopy the same thing over here from the previous question, because I replaced a to b to be the new one. And this one is 4 comma negative 3. So 4 equals x, negative 3 equals y. If I put x and y like this, your answer is going to be like that. All right, this one, it's a 3 by 3, but we could do it also. 1, 10, negative 2, 5, negative 3, 4, 2, 1. There's no z here, so we put 0. Times our matrix of the 3 variables, which is x, y, z. And that's going to equal our answers 206. Same process though, a negative b. If this is a and this is b, we're going to move the a to the other side. So a negative 1b. This one you were forced to use a calculator. Second matrix. Let's edit a again. This time we're going to make it a 3 by 3. So it's going to be 1, 10, negative 2. 5, negative 3, 4. 2, 1, 0. And another one's 3, 1, which is 206. All right, I could kind of again use it to my advantage. A negative 1b. It's some math like this. I don't think this becomes a nice fraction, does it? Oh yeah, it's over 27. So let's just answer. But you know what I'm going to do? Make my life a little easier instead of rewriting that. Take it, copy, paste. There's your answer. Okay. So those are matrices. Let's talk about the conics. This is not the conics. Oh, here we go. Okay, good. All right, conics. Here we have the equation. It is the generic version of this one right now. Is x squared equals negative, the generic version is x squared equals 4py. And remember, the p value tells you how far away are you from the distance, from the vertex to the foci, but also the y value, or the thing to the 1 power, tells you what direction you're going. So first, let's find the vertex. Vertex for your tests, along with everything you learned today for conics, is 0, 0. Next one, the foci. So we need to figure out what the foci is. This is 4p, this is negative 8. So negative 8 equals 4p. I gotta find p itself, so I divide 4 on both sides. So it's negative 2 equals p. Because it's negative 2 equals p, I'm gonna add that to the y value. The reason I'm adding it to the y value is because the y is the 1 to the 1 power, and numero uno gets to choose which way we go. So negative 2 to the 0 power. So that's going to be 0, comma, negative 2. And the directrix, instead of adding, you subtract the negative 2. So 0 plus 2, that means it's going to be, or 0 minus negative 2 is 0 plus 2. So that's going to be y, and it's y because it's a y over here by itself, equals positive 2. Now how does that graph? Our vertex is at 0, 0. Our parabola, let's do something brighter, is going to, or our focus is 0, comma, negative 2. So I'm going to put a point here. And my directrix is y equals 2. So I'm putting a horizontal line here. And then my actual graph goes like this. Because my focus points down, that makes me a parabola draws down. Write the equation for a parabola that's the foci of 4, 0 and the vertex of the origin. So if I know the foci is 4, 0, I know the p-value is not only 4, because the foci is 4, 0, but I also know it's an x version. So it must be y squared equals x. And since I know p is 4, and it's 4p in the equation, I'm going to do 4 times 4, which is 16. So y squared equals 16x. Write an equation for a directrix of y equals 5. So if it's y, I know y is by itself in this case, or to the 1 power. And the 5 here is not p-value, but it's the reverse of the p-value. So instead of 5, it's actually negative 5 equals p. So in this equation, it's 4 times p, or 4 times negative 5. So it's going to be x squared equals negative 20y. Okay, graph the circle given this. The radius is r squared. So the circle here, the radius is 4. So which means the coordinate points are going to go 4 up, 4 right, 4 down, 4 left. Make a quick circle. There you go, very easy. Write an equation where the circle is at the origin and the radius is 6. Since the radius is 6, that means r squared is 6 squared, 36. Don't worry, I'm going to put a fake answer for 6. So don't think I won't forget that. Write an equation for a circle where the center of the origin and it goes through the point 4, 2. So I need to find r squared, but I have an equation where I have x and y. So I'm going to do 4 squared plus negative 2 squared equals r squared. So this is 16. Let me erase that. That's 16 plus 4 equals r squared. Remember, negative 2 squared is positive 4. So this should be 20r squared. But remember, I don't actually need to know the square root of 20. I just need an equation. So x squared plus y squared equals 20. I don't really need the square root of 20. Also very important, I'm going to give a fake answer like 12. Because if you forget to negative, you square root the negative, or square the negative, I should say, you would get 16 minus 4, which is 12. Don't fall for that. For this one, give a major, minor, and foci, major, minor, vertices, and the foci of this ellipse. So x squared over 25, y squared over 49 equals 1. So major vertices. So it's based on the bigger one. In this case, it is a y. So the major vertex is plus or minus 7. The a value is plus or minus 7. And since it's underneath the y, it affects the y. So 0, comma, plus or minus 7. And I could graph that right quick. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. The minor vertices is based off the smaller number. So this is 25. B equals plus or minus 5. So this is going to affect the x because it's on the x part. So plus or minus 5, comma 0. So 5 right, 5 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 4, 5. And then the foci, you need to know a squared. I don't think you need to know. I think your thing works here. Algebra. Oh, you don't even know that. So the foci is given in your equation. So a squared minus b squared equals c squared. So 49 minus 25 equals c squared. That is 24 equals c squared, which you square root both sides. It's about 4.9. And again, you can use your calculator to like square root 24 if you don't know. So your coordinate points will be here, a little bit before I'm sorry. Because the y value was the major vertice, was y, the foci will also affect the y. So this is going to be 0, plus or minus 40.9. So that means that we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and a little bit before 5. A little bit before 5. And then from there, we just graph our ellipse. Connect the dots. Okay, next one, find an ellipse where the major vertex is plus or minus 9 and the minor vertex is plus 7. So a value equals 9, and we know it goes to the x's because it's on the x. And the b value is 7, and that goes on the y because it's on the y over here. So it's x squared over 9 squared, which is 81, plus y squared over 7 squared, 49, equals, it always equals 1 at the end. Here, where the major vertices is plus or minus 5, so the a value is 5. Also, it's on the y. And then the foci, the c value, is 3. So I have this, y squared over 25 plus x squared. The thing is, what I'm missing is the b squared here. So I need to find the b squared. But since I have a and I have c, I can do 25 minus b squared equals 9. Because a squared minus b squared equals c squared. A little bit of algebra. B squared equals 16. B equals 4, plus or minus 4. But remember, since I'm just looking for the equation, I don't even need the square root. I just need the b squared. So in this case, I need to find that this should be 16. All right, last one. Give the hyperbolas. So in this case, let's find the vertices. The vertices based off the positive one. Even though 16 is a bigger value, because of the negative, it's the comparison of 9 and negative 16. 9 is bigger than negative 16. So it's based off that. So the a value is plus or minus 3. So the vertices, it's going to be 3 plus or minus, comma 0. And it's an x value because it's the x over here. The foci, which is the c value, which on the equation sheet you would have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So then you have a squared, which is 9, plus c squared, or b squared, which is 16, equals c squared. 25 equals c squared, so c equals 5. So that'll be plus or minus 5, comma 0. Your asymptotes, it's going to be y equals some slope x, but in this case, you need either your y value over your x value. So in this case, it is going to be 4 over 3, the square root of these numbers. So the square root of 16 is 4, and that's the y value, so it goes on top because it's rise over run, while 3 is on the bottom. All right, so let's graph each piece. Let's do red. So vertices over here is 3, 0. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The foci over here is 5, 0. And then for this one, it's 4, 3. So that means I'm going to go 4 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 right, 1, 2, 3. 3 left, 1, 2, 3, 4 down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 right, down 4, 3 left. And then let's make some dotted lines. Make some dotted lines. Not as horrible as I did, hopefully. And then we're going to make our parabola. When you make your parabola, you kind of go next to the asymptotes. Okay. Give the vertices foci and then graph this one. You don't need to graph this one. But for this one, we're going to figure out how to do it. In this case, it doesn't equal 1. So that means I have to divide everything by 64. So y squared, 4 divided by 64 is 16, minus 16 minus 64 is 4, so x squared over 4 equals 1. So the vertices is based off the biggest one, so the a value is plus or minus 4, and since it's on the y, that means it's 0, plus or minus 4. The foci is the c value, so it's 16 plus 4 equals c squared, 20 equals c squared, which is about 4.5-ish, maybe 4.6-ish. Nah, 4.5-ish or 4.4-ish. So this is the vertices. The foci would be 0, plus or minus 4.5. It has to follow the leader. Since this is the leader, vertices, the foci will also affect the y. And then the asymptotes, I use a capital A, I guess. The asymptotes over here are going to be y over x. Since this is 4, it's going to be y equals 4 over 2x, which I would rewrite as y equals 2x, because 4 over 2 reduces to 2 over 1. Okay. Make an equation for the hyperbolas where the vertices are plus or minus 5 and the foci is plus or minus 7. So the vertices is where a equals 5 and the foci is where c equals 7. So I know it's going to be x, so x squared over 25 minus y squared over b squared equals c squared. I'm sorry, equals, not c squared, equals 1. Which means we're going to use a squared plus b squared equals c squared, which is 25 plus b squared equals 49, which means b squared equals 24, which is b must equal like about 4.9. But again, I don't really care about what is b value, since I'm just looking for the equation I'm plugging in here. So it's going to be y squared 24. But no doubt I'll give a fake answer where I put 4.9 on here, or maybe I'll write the square root of 24, I don't know. So don't fall for that, okay? It should be 24 itself. Yeah, that's it. I hope that helps you guys. I just want to check, is that really it? Yeah, I hope this helps you guys also along with the previous video. Good luck.